Embers Adrift is an MMO that released in late 2021 by an indie dev team of 12 developers, and one I have been enjoying since it launched. It has come a long way throughout 2023, and now we're in 2024, and the team at Stormhaven will be releasing their roadmap and plans for their still new MMO soon. I thought this is a good time for me to release my predictions for what Embers Adrift might bring for us for 2024. Some of these features or updates might be a little bit more of a wish list of mine, ones that I think the community shares. Others are things I genuinely think we're going to see in 2024, and I hope these are the things we see in 2024. I think it would greatly improve the game and enrich the community and the content of this new MMO for 2024. And don't forget, if you are interested in picking up Embers Adrift, it's only $30 US, and you can use the link at the top of this description down below to support this channel too. My name is Nathan. I cover MMOs and RPGs, so please hit that like button like it owes you money and subscribe for more. Let's start off by saying that Embers Adrift is a new MMO that features old school MMORPG design philosophies. The journey matters, and it's a long journey to the max level of 50, and it's going to be filled with grouping up, working together, learning your class, and how other classes change the dynamics of the group. Dungeon crawling, learning about the world through the lore, through non-hand-holding quests, and looking for epic loot, which is basically my favorite things about MMORPGs. And all of this without a cash shop. Embers offers an optional subscription for only $10 US a month that comes with some perks, and that's it. Now, with the basics out of the way, let's talk about my predictions for 2024 and what I think Embers Adrift is going to add, because if you've been following along, Embers is updated every month with solid, meaty updates, and the game has completely come into its own during the course of 2023, in my opinion, and I think we can expect some even bigger things in 2024. The number one complaint I hear from the community is the fact that Embers Adrift doesn't have a caster class implemented, and to be fair, the lore seems to be leading up to it. As a matter of fact, in the distant past of the lore in the game, there were mages. They utilized the power of Ember in some way akin to what we might think of as like a wizard. And also, in case you aren't aware, Embers Adrift does have magic. It's something all classes can unlock at level 20, and it's very unique. Almost every ability in the game can be embered up, giving it additional benefits and magical attributes. And also you can level up each individual skill so that you can actually unlock even more Ember attributes once it powers, levels all the way up. But for many, this doesn't feel the need of those wizard and caster lovers out there. Honestly, I think during 2024, we will see the release of a full caster class. The lore has room for it, and this is just my theory, but if we learn to actually make a powerful Emberstone as like part of our own chemistry by implanting one within us, for example, and it can receive its charge from our body itself, that could be the lore for how a caster class could exist in Embers Adrift. They could go many routes with how this works, but one thing is for certain, Embers is the source of magic in this game, so I will assume it will work something like that. And before I can talk about my next theory for introducing a caster class, it brings me to another update that I'd like to see Embers introduce to their MMO. A new race. As of now, there are only humans, and a new race could be another way they introduce a caster class. Perhaps this new race has the innate ability to cast and regenerate magic without filling up an Emberstone, for example. It's worth mentioning while talking about a new race in Embers Adrift that I mentioned that there are already the Cordunes, and they're in the newest zone added to the game. And they originate from the red planet that's up in the sky, so they're technically aliens. And we know very little about the Cordunes, but they do have interesting names, especially if you're assuming my theory is somewhere near correct, such as the Cordune Fire Charmer, the Cordune Water Walker, and the Cordune Earth Shaker, to give you an idea. So introducing a new race like the Cordune as a playable option that can be a caster would be very exciting for Embers Adrift. And races get people excited anyway, and add a ton of variety to the game. Now for sure, Embers Adrift is going to see the release of new dungeons and zones throughout 2024. We had a slew of dungeons and zones released in 2023, and I'm sure we'll see more for 2024 as well. And I do love the dungeon design in Embers Adrift. I am hoping that we get some more unique assets or color swaps to really make dungeons dungeons feel unique besides their layout and their mobs. And speaking of that, of course, I believe we're going to see new mobs in 2024 introduced to the MMO as well. I have no doubt about those kind of things. And it's worth thinking about that since they have content that clearly takes you to max level, and they have a max level zone for some in-game type activities, that any additions that they add throughout 2024 to content will simply be enhancing our experience and giving us more options, because the foundation for Embers Adrift is complete. It's a complete journey experience from beginning to max level for Embers Adrift even right now. And of course, a big one, a really big feature is raid type content. The developers have mentioned their plans to incorporate something that builds a guild and community camaraderie in the form of a raid type experience. Not many people have made it to max level. Yes, it really is that big of a journey that even over a year since launch, there are very few who have made it to level 50. But of the friends I know that are level 50, they say there are bosses that take more than a group to beat at this point. And I should also mention that new bosses are still being discovered in the Grizzled Peaks max level zone even to this day. And that is something also real quick that makes Embers Adrift so fascinating. There's so much still unexplored or undiscovered or unknown. But back to the point, a raid type experience with a big, massive, scary boss that takes 2 groups or so to defeat, but has the potential to unlock big guild rewards or drop in-game loot would be absolutely fantastic. And I think we will see something like this release in 2024. And I only hope that the developers find a way to stretch that content out. I mean, after all, there's only 12 developers, so if they release a boss or 2 or 3 that is designed to be a raid type experience, there needs to be a way to make that boss worth doing over and over again. And that's to keep the max level satisfied. Whether that be something like a rare drop that you need so many of in order to unlock a guild shared bank, or extra inventory slots, something that feels worth tackling and something that really enhances the core experience. And last but not least is some sort of auction house system to boost the economy and crafting in the MMO. The devs have already discussed a mail system that would implement some kind of system that would be used akin to an auction house, and this adds a new layer of addiction for many players and will add a ton of content all on its own. Gathering for gold, crafting for gold, and then using that gold to buy what you always desired. I think we could see this get implemented at some point in 2024 as well, and I look forward to that. So these are my predictions for Embers in 2024. If we were to get a caster class, possibly a new race, some new dungeons, a couple new zones, some unique assets to set dungeons apart, make them look more unique, more mobs, some raid type content, and unique rewards, and an auction house type system, I would say that would be an absolutely epic 2024 for such a small team. And I do believe that the caster class is the most important of all these things. If there's one thing I hear people in the community say about Embers Adrift, is that they would play if it offered a dedicated caster. And I think that would bring in more population than anything else. Soon though, we'll be hearing the roadmap plans for Embers Adrift for 2024 from the developers themselves, and you better believe I'll be covering it here on the channel. And also, I stream Embers Adrift definitely every Wednesday night, sometimes other nights as well, right here on the channel, and also on Twitch. Come give me a follow on Twitch. I have the link in the description down below, or you can just continue to catch my live streams right here on YouTube as I stream on both simultaneously. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment down below if you agree, or let me know what you want in Embers Adrift for 2024. And until next time, my friends, God bless and happy gaming. I want to give a very special thank you to the members of Napalm for your contributions month over month in keeping me full time. You help me pay the bills so I can keep streaming and pumping out content, and I truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And I think you might be interested in becoming a member of the channel. Please click the join button down below the video for more information and join our family. And I want to give an extremely big shout out to the Lords of Napalm: Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Dimlos, Sparrow, Farthest Reach, Random Raw, Galarain Moonsong, What's the Takeaway, Fab Wolf Gaming, Cobalt, Robert Deneka, Ohalo, Angel Terry, Pip Pop, My Boot in Your Ass, The Crinkled One, Scruffy Bard, Aaron Owen. Thank you for your highest tier membership.